Good morning, ladies and gents. Welcome to week 5. We're there already. That's amazing. Congratulations. You've written the draft of your first major essay and gone through peer review. Awesome. Hopefully you got some great feedback so that you're really ready to move ahead and revise as we work closer and closer toward the final draft of Project 1. And yes, I am repping Hufflepuff today. For all my Harry Potter fans, definitely belong in the Hufflepuff house, which of course is the best house. So, yay. So this week we've got a lot of revision work. And so sometimes as we go into our first major project and we think about revision, it starts to feel like maybe we're just dragging this thing out, or really how much do I have to go back and change in an essay? And the idea behind process writing, which is something that we do in this class, is taking something as big as an essay and breaking it down into more manageable steps. So we did a lot of brainstorming, we did a lot of contextualization earlier in the quarter. We broke out the thesis and worked on that. We talked about outlines, and then we slowly drafted the essay. Now we have an essay, we've gotten feedback on it, and this is our chance to make our essay even better. So while it may feel like, oh, this essay just will never end, what we're really trying to do is get you to a really nicely polished final product. And the only way to do that is through multiple rounds of revision. So for Project 1, we're really investing in that process-based approach to writing. When we get into Project 2, and we'll talk about this in the coming weeks, the timeline on Project 2 is much, much faster. It's a very abbreviated process. So I'm trying to show you different ways to approach essay writing. The process base is kind of like the ideal, where you give yourself time to think about your writing, to think about your process, to think about your revisions, and you really have time to unpack all that. Project 2 is going to be much more fast-paced because in most situations where you're asked to write an essay, you won't have 4 weeks to do it. You will have just like this much time to do it. When I was running START at CBC many years ago, I was in a history class where I had to write a 3 to 5 page essay every Friday about something we learned about in class. And I did not have 4 weeks to write each of those essays. I had to write 1 a week, which felt like a lot at the time. And I'm not going to make you do that in this class, but that is one scenario where this faster essay approach might help you. So that's why we're going to do a couple different approaches in this class, but this first one is really process-based. Lets you unpack your ideas and really invest in the revision process. So I hope you're taking advantage of that, taking that feedback you get from the peers, and making some substantial changes in your essay. You can also take your writing to the online Writing Center for CBC. All of those links are in our modules tab. And that will help you get a better essay because you're going to have really good feedback. And then if you email me the feedback you get from your responder, I will enter extra credit for you. So it's a win-win kind of situation. You get a stronger essay and you get extra credit. It's pretty nice. So all of that is linked for you in the modules tab if you want to invest in that part of the writing process as well. So as we take a look at this week, revising, that's what we're doing. You're going to revise today. Tomorrow we have another peer review. It works just like the peer review we completed last week. You're going to post your revised essay. So this essay that you're posting tomorrow on Tuesday should have some substantial changes. It should be very different than the essay you posted on Friday. You want to make those changes, make the essay stronger, so you've got a whole new thing for your reviewer to take a look at. And then you're going to work on revising that and turning in the final draft on Friday. So if you want to get into the CBC Online Writing Center, you probably want to try and make an appointment today, as their schedule does tend to fill up fairly quickly. Because the final draft of this bad boy is due on Friday. We're so excited. Actually, I am genuinely excited because I really am looking forward to seeing how these ideas and essays come together for you. So, we're going to take a quick look at the peer review just so you can see it's very similar to the one we've already done. So once again, you're going to post your essay. You're going to do a feedback review sheet for the person who posts directly below you, and you're going to call it good. You're going to send that feedback review sheet as a reply to the other essay, and really, really try and dig deep, help your partner out, see if they can't make their essay as strong as possible before they turn in that final draft. And as we talked about in the modules tab, is all of the links you're going to need for the CBC Writing Center. So if you want to book an appointment with them, you can go through eTutoring if you want, or the CBC Online Writing Center. Really fabulous resources for you. You just sign up for, I will fix the link. You just sign up for the Writing Center. They've got a calendar. You'll sign up, and that'll be that. You can also find it through the Columbia Basin website. I will fix that link for you if you just type in Writing Center in the search bar and scroll down briefly. The Writing Center is in the Academic Success Center. If you have classes that you're struggling with, whether it's science or math or anything like that, the Academic Center also helps with that, and we've got tutors in all of these subjects, which is really pretty cool. And it's a free resource, which is amazing. So you can do drop-in tutoring, you can do by appointment, lots of different ways that you can get help. So please take advantage of that. Here's the Writing Lab specific information. If you want to take a look at that, there's asynchronous as well as synchronous options. So once again, please take advantage of that. A really, really excellent resource. And you access all of that through the links on their pages to their Canvas shell. So please take advantage of that. If you want to do a tutor session, do make sure to email me the feedback you get, and I would love to enter those extra credit points for you. All right, cool stuff, exciting. We're really stoked to write this essay. My last and final note, as I try and keep this video short, is a couple folks reached out over the weekend asking why there is a requirement that we avoid first-person language in our essays, and I think that's a really excellent question to unpack a little bit. So one of the reasons we avoid first-person language in our essays is because essays in an academic setting are typically hierarchical, which means we are coming from a place of knowledge and research and deep thinking. And we're talking to an audience who hasn't gotten to that point yet. So there's a hierarchy here. We're coming from a place of knowledge and research, and we're talking to an audience that hasn't done that research that we have. So we're providing information and providing perspective to an audience that hasn't reached that point yet. So it's hierarchical. If we use first-person language and say things like I, me, and my, like I think revenge is the primary theme of Agatha Christie's novel. When I was reading the book, I found that Poirot struggled with the moral ambiguity of murder. All true things. But when we say I, it makes it feel like a conversation. Then we're talking to equals and we lose our hierarchy because we're just like talking to a person in a coffee shop. You know, it becomes like a conversation. It's very informal. Sorry, I have two dogs who love to talk. Jim, would you like to say hello to the class? They're very big and very happy, but they do like to talk. They're named Jem and Scout because my husband and I are both English teachers, and we love the book To Kill a Mockingbird. So if you got the nerd reference, hooray, kudos, extra credit points. Actually, why don't we make it extra credit points? If you've watched this far into the video, send me an email with the names of my dogs and the book that they were named from, and I will give you 5 extra credit points. Yay! Thank you for watching the video. So back to the topic of first-person language. It creates hierarchy if we avoid it. So take out I, me, and my, and it will help create that academic hierarchy. The other reason we avoid first-person language is because if we say statements like I think, it makes it more writer-centric instead of reader-centric. So writer-centric means that the essay talks more about my process and it's all about me, as opposed to an audience-centered piece, which is what we're looking for, where we want it to be more all-encompassing. We want everyone to feel a part of this. It's not about my journey to find this information. It's about me sharing this information with a broader audience. So hopefully that clarifies. We do want to avoid I, me, and my in the essay. The word we is a little bit of a gray zone. You can use it, but it does tend to lower that academic tone and tends to make our sentences a little bit more wordy. So if you wanted to make your writing more concise, oftentimes we can work our way around the idea and remove the we language. We do also want to avoid addressing the audience directly by saying you, like, you probably think that murder is wrong. I probably do. But if we address the reader specifically like that, we tend to lower the academic tone, but we could also alienate a reader because we don't know what they're thinking 100% of the time. So if we're making guesses about what our reader is thinking, it's possible we'll create a disconnect and then they'll dismiss our ideas because we didn't understand who our reader was. So just some things to consider as you're writing and revising. Make sure to remove all of the first person language and try and work around avoiding we and you in the writing. All right, guys, thank you for tuning in. Bonus for those of you who watched all the way through the video. And have a great week. I'm looking forward to seeing how these essays come together.